Seriously?
Hey guys, and welcome to this 9th edition news update video with myself, 6+ Stevo. So today in the Warhammer community, we have a little bit more news on the new edition and the books and codexes and whatnot. And I thought I would cover it and take a look. So before we get into it, let's just have a look over the article. So it says Warhammer 40,000, your books and the new edition. So, as you've surely seen by now, an incredibly exciting time awaits us all in the grim darkness of the very near future, with a new edition of Warhammer 40,000 on its way. Not just any edition, mind, but the best edition ever, in capitals. The propaganda hype train is in full force. Doot doot. Believe us when we tell you that it's a good time to be fighting for the survival or destruction of mankind. But what about my books? Well, we've got some great news for you. All of your current codexes and Psychic Awakening, not to mention other published rules such as those found in White Dwarf and even Warhammer Legends, will be 100% compatible. That's right, you won't need to replace your existing books when the new edition launches. The core rules have been specifically designed to work alongside the full range of datasheets, war gear profiles and stratagems found in our publications. Still want to field a Master of Sanctity, courtesy of the rules in Faith and Fury? You can. Want to continue fielding your Forces of the Inquisition, as featured in November 2019's issue of White Dwarf? No problem. As mentioned in our handy Your Questions Answered PDF, the rules for your Forge World units are set to receive new and exciting updates shortly after the new edition launches, but until then, your Forge World index books will be good to go. What about the existing FAQs? With the new edition of the game, some of the FAQs and errata that currently apply to the game and certain units will no longer be relevant. Thankfully, the Warhammer 40,000 rules team have been hard at work preparing updates to the existing documents, so when the new edition bursts onto the scene, you'll also be able to download new PDFs to bring your books into line, so you'll be good to go from day one. So in short, be sure to keep hold of all of your books, as you'll still be able to enjoy their contents when the new edition launches. In fact, they'll be vital in helping you play the game. When the new Warhammer 40,000 app launches, it will help you navigate the rules for your army, and when new codexes start to release, they will interact seamlessly with the app. We'll have more news about the new edition and the app soon. So yeah, there's a lot to... some of this is old news, and some of it they've just sort of gone into it in a little bit more detail. So we knew already that our existing codexes would continue and the Psychic Awakening books would continue to work through 9th edition, and that they've had them very much in mind while writing 9th edition. So that's very good. I know a lot of new players out there that sort of maybe got into 40k through 8th edition. This might be their first experience of a new edition of the game, and there was a little bit of trepidation from some people. Sort of, I had some people asking me, like, what does this mean for me? What does this mean? I have to get a whole new codex and new everything, and you know, and yeah, this isn't that. This isn't what 8th edition was to 7th, a complete, you know, wipe. This is an update. This is still very much. It is kind of 8.5 basically. It will be very much the same way. The core mechanics are very much going to stay the same, but they are tweaking things, improving things, changing things, and we will see what the new edition's like. We haven't heard a lot about it yet. We've heard some bits. What we've heard to me sounds very exciting, and it sounds like they're focusing in on what a lot of people's the critics of 8th, they're focusing on sort of a lot of what their main issues were. I know vehicles was a big one that came up through 8th, and that divided the community, and you know, whether you liked it or you loathed it. So they're addressing that, but we're getting off topic here. We're not really talking about that. We're talking about this. So but yeah, so we knew codexes and Psychic Awakening books were going to be carry over. What we didn't know though was that things like Warhammer Legends will carry over. And I remember when I made the video about Legends a good while ago, when that first came out, and there was a lot of debate in the community then. about whether Legends was a good thing or whether these things were just being put out to pasture and they were never going to be seen again. And one concern I had about Warhammer Legends was that when they released 9th, would that be the time that these units fully die, that Legends is properly gone, and that it wouldn't cross over to 9th? But the fact that it is fantastic news. And that means that our Legends units have got at least another 3 years. I mean, if they were to... It's very early days yet. 9th hasn't even barely been announced, and I'm already predicting the launch of 10th. Yeah, we're probably looking at sort of 3 to 4 years for 9th edition. By the time it hits, we're going to have had 8th for about 3 years, so that seems to be the sort of average lifespan of an edition. So that just means that we've got our Legends for another good few years, which is amazing news. That is really good news. That was a nice little bonus, actually. Matey there looking very happy with all his books, look, you know, and God knows there's enough of them. There is enough of them. So yeah, they're certainly not doing what they did with 8th and sort of announcing this as you'll only need the one book, you only need this. Now they're sort of saying it's great, all these hundreds of books we've released, you can still have them, which I think is very good for the points I've covered, but also I know a lot of us are kind of going, could we have slightly less books, please, GW, just slightly less books. But also, what else do they talk about in here? So we know that the Forge World books are all getting new books and everything. I hope that the Forge World books continue to be indexes, because full Forge World, not codexes, are they? What do they call them? The Forge World books, anyway, are very expensive usually, as is all Forge World stuff. And the indexes was very refreshing from that, because they were just an index and they were nice and cheap, just like the indexes for 8th were. And so I hope that they do just bring out new indexes. As nice as the Forge World books are, and they are very, very nice, they are insanely expensive. So hopefully they will just go down the index route again. It made me laugh when I read about the FAQs in here. So now we're getting... basically... we're getting almost FAQs and erratas, 2 FAQs and erratas now. This is the world we live in these days, people. But no, seriously. So they're going to change them. They're going to tweak them and update them, so that we can carry our FAQs and erratas over as well. We maybe didn't want to carry all of them over, but yeah, it is what it is. And then they go on to talk about the app, and they're very vague about the app. There's very little information about this app, but I am particularly excited about this, because this has been a long time coming. We had the app, I can't even remember what it was called now, but we've got an app currently for 40k, but I think it only covers things for like open play or something. And long story short, it was shit. It was massively underwhelming and just really bad. It was like, this is pointless. This is literally pointless. So yeah, the app was terrible. Basically, it was pointless and it was irrelevant, and it didn't offer us anything. But it was essentially a like a test run, I think, like a prototype app, and hopefully for this the proper app. And I'm both excited about the launch of the app and very cautious, because I know what I want it to be and I know what it could be, but based on their track record with apps thus far that have been very underwhelming, and very short on features and things, let's hope they don't screw this up. What we want basically is a full list building app that updates instantly on the day of any release of a codex or any FAQs or changes or whatever, that it is updated on the day, and you've always got a fully up-to-date list building, official app. and that would be great. That'd be fantastic. Now, some out there, I've discussed it with some, and some have said, well, why do we need it? We've got Battlescribe. And yeah, look, Battlescribe's great. I use Battlescribe myself. I'm not a big fan of the user interface of it and the way that the lists are put together. When you actually, if you would like print off the lists or you share the list, and that, I don't like the format they're listed in. It's just down to personal preference, really. Also, it's a community-driven app. And that means there are delays. That means that when an FAQ comes out or a codex comes out, that those changes take a little while to take effect on that app because it's not official. It's not made by Games Workshop. And so I would definitely like a really cleanly designed, well put together app that was updated regularly and instantly and was really user friendly for making your lists and stuff. That would be amazing, and it would show GW moving with the times. It is 2020 now, and it's kind of we shouldn't really be talking about this in 2020. We should have been talking about this many years ago, because they're finally catching up though, so credit where it's due there. Also, another thing that I've been asking for fecking ages is that when we buy a codex, we get the digital version of that codex for free with it. We get a code inside the codex, one of them little, whatever they're called, little barcode things. You scan it with your smartphone or your tablet or whatever, and boom, you can download the digital version of the codex. And they're finally doing it. They have announced recently that all new codexes after the launch of 9th will have this feature. Hopefully this means the rulebook as well. Hopefully the rulebook is under this as well, and that'll probably be the first thing that comes with that. Yeah, brilliant news. This should have been happening all along, and it is just fantastic. It is fantastic. They're still going to be selling the digital codexes separately. So if you're only interested in digital, you can do that. Or if you buy the print version, then you get the code for the digital version as well, which is brilliant. It's really, really good. And it's going to be so useful. Because some of us might like to keep our books in nice condition. Maybe we don't want to lug them around with us and get them scratched and dented or ripped or whatever. Or maybe it's just handy having it on your phone. Sometimes when you're at work, you want to look over, read something when you're out and about, away from your codex. It's there in the palm of your hand. It is useful. And it's just fantastic for those of us that still want to buy the print versions and have the nice, book with all the artwork and everything. But to have both is just great. It is very useful to have it on your mobile device. That's fantastic news, and I'm over the moon about it. And well done, GW. But again, a slight air of caution. What I don't want to see is a price increase on said codex. I've got a feeling they could bump up the price of new codexes to sort of compensate for that extra that you're getting with it. That would sour it slightly for me. That would sour it. Now, I know price increases and prices go up all the time, and they are inevitable. I get that. But yeah, it would kind of, it would undermine you get the digital one free. Well, I'm not getting it free if I'm paying more, am I? But I'm getting ahead of myself there. There's been no mention of price increases on new codexes. But we shall wait and see on that one. Also, what would put the cherry on the cake for these digital codexes is that they get updated. And like I say, they seem to be hyping up this app a lot, and they're sort of focused on this digital side of things. And hopefully these codexes and things are updated automatically. Like what I'd love to see, like when you're looking at FAQ and you'll see a bit that says, on page 46, change this paragraph to this. What I want to see with a digital codex is that paragraph automatically change in the digital codex, so it's just there. You look at your codex on the digital one and you will know that all the information there is up to date and correct, not that it's outdated because it's been FAQ'd later and you have to remember what FAQ it was in to go and check the ruling for it, because that just slows the game down, causes arguments, and it's just not good. So yeah, hopefully they're going to be on it. What I'm hearing though, and what I'm reading here, is all good. It's all good stuff. And it is exciting times. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's some quite interesting things, and it's nice to see GW give us what we've been asking for a long time, and it does sound like they've been listening. They've been listening to someone. I highly doubt it's me, but someone's been saying the same things and they've been listening, and it's a positive step forward. So yeah, well done GW, but just don't sneak in any price. Don't make us pay for these digital codexes in an underhand way, you know. I don't want to see an extra £5 put onto these codexes to cover the cost of that. I'll be watching you on that one. But yeah, there we go, guys. So what do you think? Are you excited about 9th edition? And are you pleased that all these books are carrying over? You know, your Codex that you've just bought, your Psychic Awakening book you just bought, you're pleased that you've got years more use out of those yet? Are you pleased that Legends isn't going away? Legends is sticking with us through 9th. And what do you think about this new app? Are you excited for it, or do you think they're going to fumble it and give us a half-hearted app like they've done previously? Share your comments down below. Please hit the like button. If you aren't already, please become a subscriber. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. This is 6+ Stevo, signing out.